I have a great show for you. My name is Jeanette, also known as Ms.FitVegan. Let me fix my hair. And today we're bringing on my friend Chef Ocean. So I had an idea for a show, and I was like, who's the weirdest weirdo I know? That rhymes. And I was like, let me call Chef Ocean. Okay, so you guys don't know, but he's a big weirdo. And I actually made these, I don't know how I'm going to give him one, but can you see it? I did it backwards so you guys can see it. And what's up, everyone? What's up, boo? What's up? So I'm going to bring on Chef Ocean, and I'm going to ask him some weird questions. It's a weird story how this show came about, but basically, well, I don't want to say anything because he's not here yet. Well, let me just tell you guys a secret. No, let me wait for him. What's up, Matthew Jazz? Oh, you're the one who asked about the moon. You're the one. Did you figure it out? Did you figure out there's no moon? Where's Chef Ocean? Okay, so let me tell you, while we wait for Chef Ocean to come in here, I want to tell you that being weird is the key. It's the key to unlocking your potential. Did you know that? Did you know? I don't like being alone here. Where is this guy? Did you know that being weird is your superpower? Did you know that? Did you know that when you start to embrace your inner weirdo, you're going to start to live your life with passion because there's something you want to do that you might not be doing because you think it's weird. Like, for example, maybe you want to be obsessed with something and you're like, oh, but all my friends and family are going to fucking judge me. Boo. The things you think other people think about you are the things you think about you. Okay? Write that one down in your goddamn journal. Oh, I have so many good questions for Chef Ocean. You have no idea. I've been staying up all night thinking of weird things that I do. So I'm going to ask him those things if he does them too. Also, I'm going to start every question with I once read, so that he looks like the weirdo and not me. So for example, I'm going to say, I once read that you blank. That's the plan. Okay, where is he? You know what? I am about to just do this live by myself, and that's fine too. He's a little older, so maybe he doesn't know exactly how to use Instagram. He's like, oh, he's here. Oh, sorry. Okay. Hey, what's up, Ocean? How's it going? I'm a big fan. Let's bring him in. Don't tell him what I was saying. Okay, hold on. Okay, so it says accept. Let's see if this worked.
Hi.
What's up, boo?
How's it going?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I had my earbuds in, but for some reason my earbuds don't work with Instagram, so here I am.
Okay. It kind of looks like you're in a sauna, but I guess you're not because you're dressed. That looks like a sauna background, right? Right, guys?
It does kind of look like a sauna, and I'm actually wearing yoga shorts. So
Oh, I don't wear pants or shorts when I go live. What's the point of that?
okay.
Yeah. That's a noob. What a noob. Okay, so Chef Ocean's parents, please leave the chat. Don't watch this chat. My parents would never waste their time watching my lives. And let's begin. So I had this idea, and I thought, who's the weirdest person I can ask? And I thought of you.
Oh, well, I'll take that as a compliment. Thank you.
It's a big because the opposite of weirdo is boring, is not open-minded, is not thinking for themselves. And so if I've ever called you or anyone out there a weirdo, that means you're amazing. That means I'm a fan. And yeah. So I don't know, guys, here's how it's going to go down. I have a bunch of questions. Chef Ocean.
Wait, I have one question first. Did you intentionally spell weirdo wrong on your name tag?
Oh, no. Oh, yeah, I did. No, I didn't. I was writing it backwards and I fucked up because it's backwards. Ah, let me fix it. The D.
You're a weirdo. Okay, got it. All right. That counts as one of my questions.
I was waiting for you to bring in the D. During. Okay, that's, fuck it. You know, I bought these for nothing then. Okay, so Okay, I have some inappropriate questions, some weird questions, and I would like to invite the audience in the question comments section below. Put in a question you've always wanted to ask a raw vegan guru, and we shall get to it. Everything okay, Ocean? What's going on in the background there?
Yes. Yeah, I'm getting your questions queued up here because I'm going to ask you some funny questions.
Okay. Okay, yeah. I'm excited. I'm gonna read all my questions by saying I'm gonna start them all by saying I once read about you so that you look like the weirdo and not me. I'm gonna start
Okay.
it. I thought that would be good. And guys, if you have a question, put it down below. We'll answer it. Weird only. Weird questions only. Don't ask us about your protein. Don't ask us if something is gluten-free. Don't do it. Cucumbers are
Yeah.
gluten-free. Okay, who's gonna start here? This is nice and weird.
Oh, you can set the tone. I think you're going to be better at this than I am.
I'm better at most things than most people. Okay. I have a lot of questions. How do I start? Do I start with the worst one? Okay, here we go.
Uh-oh.
So, Chef Ocean, I once read that you like to bathe your butthole in the sun. I'm wondering if this is true, and what are these benefits that you both speak of?
All right, that's the worst one, or is that the best one?
Well, you tell me. Depends on the day.
Okay.
One of the worst ones, yeah.
Okay, all right. So I do have a story to tell you. And it wasn't that I read about this. It was when I was working at a certain raw food restaurant in Santa Monica that most people will probably figure out the name of this restaurant, especially if they know like my history and who I've worked for. But let's just say that the person who owns the restaurant was one of the most well-known raw foodists in the world at the time. And so his restaurant or her restaurant, their restaurant, was right in the center of Santa Monica with like a business building across the street, and it was surrounded by like people who were kind of like LA people, right? Like not necessarily weirdos or anything like you would find in like Malibu or Topanga Canyon, but pretty much like the business district of Santa Monica. And so he had an apartment, or they had an apartment right above the restaurant with a little balcony on it. And so we heard one day that they were not allowed to like sunbathe on the balcony anymore. And it turned out that their method of sunbathing was to just go at butt open, like ass open on the balcony, like as soon as the sun came up in order to do butthole bathing, as you call it. But the problem was that people who were working in the office building across the street did not understand what he was doing. Or she or they, and so it caused so they ended up calling the landlord and had a very awkward conversation with the landlord, who also had an awkward conversation with my boss, the person who owned the restaurant, to say, hey, I really shouldn't have to tell you this, but
Oh my God.
so I don't know what the benefits are, but I do know the drawbacks of it is you will attract a giant crowd across the street, some of them with binoculars, who will somewhat enjoy it and somewhat not enjoy it. So,
but oculars, maybe, perhaps. Oh, how can I get more vitamin D by going raw? But there's an eggplant emoji in there, so this might be an inappropriate question. Hold on. How can I get more vitamin D? Maybe. Oh, wait. How can I get more vitamin D and the eggplant emoji by going raw? You want to take that one?
That's a triple entendre here, huh?
I don't know I don't know. Okay.
All right. So let's go for the funny answer first. So use sunscreen on that eggplant. That's all I got to say. If you're going to go out in the sun and try to get more vitamin D, yeah, use some sunscreen, or at least some, I don't know, limit yourself to 20 minutes because you don't want to get burnt you don't want your eggplant to get burnt or when you're getting your vitamin D. I noticed that you posted something about how if people want to be attractive, they should if they want to find their ideal mate, they should work on themselves and fall in love with themselves first. So if you want to get more vitamin D by being raw, it's just going to happen naturally because, if you're getting 100% of the nutrients that your food offers, which means that you're not cooking your food, you're not damaging your food, you're taking your food in its natural form, 100%, like all the vitamins and minerals are undamaged. That is going to make your body look beautiful. It's going to make you the healthiest version of yourself. You still need to exercise. You still need to brush your teeth. You still need to be nice to people, but it's going to be a lot easier to do all those things when you feel comfortable in your own skin. So that's the serious answer to getting more vitamin D on a raw diet. It makes it easier.
I disagree.
What's your answer to that?
Yeah, you don't need to be nice to people if you go raw. If you go raw, you'll become beautiful like me and Chef Ocean, and everybody will just be falling all over you, just bowing down to you wherever you go, and you don't need to be nice. Just go raw, and you'll get more D than you could ever, ever, ever want. Okay.
But then what they're going to do is they're going to write articles about you about how you do butthole bathing. That's totally not true. So that's
Okay.
you get these.
What's one of your weird questions that you've always wanted to know about Ms.FitVegan?
Okay. So this is not my question. This is a question from one of your followers who is asking me this question, and I would say this is the I'm kind of embarrassed. I know this is going to be a nice soundbite later. As a raw vegan, do you find that you enjoy the smell of your own farts more than before?
Oh, what a great question. What a great question. I know that was your question. Look at you trying to act like it was a viewer's question. Okay, that's why you're on this show. Okay, so I personally, and this is the God's honest truth. I personally don't fart anymore. And if I do, it doesn't smell like anything. I'm being honest. Guys, I've been raw for 11 years. Chef Ocean, how long have you been raw?
22 years.
Yeah, between us, that's 33 years of odorless farts, okay? So that's the honest truth. And so, no, I miss the smell of my farts. I miss it. It's no fun now. It doesn't smell like anything. Let's move on. Okay. Oh, wow. This is the question, but I'll leave that for the last one. So there's 5 questions. The last one is the best. Somebody asked, does Chef Ocean live by the ocean? Do you? That's not a weird question.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's not a weird question, but absolutely, of course, yeah. I can't be without the ocean. The ocean is the life-giving force of the planet. We're made of water. The ocean is the best thing that has ever happened to us. It's very unique in the entire universe. I don't think any other planets have full-on oceans. So, yeah, I appreciate your ocean, and, yeah, go swim in it.
Yes. Now, I once read that you enjoy drinking your own urine, Chef Ocean. What is this about?
See, this is what happens when you're not nice to people, is they write things like
Is this true? What is going on here?
Absolutely not. No. So, all right. So here's my thought on this. And this is kind of divisive. So you're going to get like, how like Christian religions kind of split up because some of them believe in one thing and some believe in another. So this is one of the most divisive topics, I think, in raw vegan world, especially when it comes to Woodstock, is this urine therapy, or some people call it urine therapy. I'm not sure where that came from. So if you tell me that you're into urine therapy, I will ask that you like not breathe on me. That's the main thing, because I can't, like, once I get that into my head. But my feeling is like if your body if your body is wanting to willingly get rid of something without any intervention on your part, like if your body is just like deciding on its own without you having to concentrate on it, hey, I want to get rid of this substance, then what business do you have putting it back in? Like, that doesn't seem right to me. So that's my stance on it. Having said that, I do have 2 bunny rabbits, and they do like to eat their own poop, and that's just part of their metabolism. So that makes me wonder if maybe it's okay for some people. I don't know if you want to be a rabbit, like, but hey, if you're why stop at urine,
Okay, let me tell you guys real quick. People ask me this all the time. All the time. First of all, I am drinking my urine right now, so give me a second. I'm a little thirsty. Okay. Um, I personally, here's my urine therapy story. About 9 years ago, yes, okay, you've got your Orion.
Bubbly.
Fermented is the best. That's the best one. The most benefits. Okay, so about 9 years ago, guys, I had pink eye. I know, crazy, but I was only 2 years raw. So, back then I was like susceptible to all these human weird things. So about 9 years ago, I got pink eye and I suffered for like 2 days, 2 or 3 days. And it was so painful and my eye was really infected, but I'm a workaholic. So I refused to go to the doctor. I refused. And I was eating fruit and vegetables and I was like, everything's gonna be fine. But it really hurt and I was really suffering. And my boyfriend, he said, okay, listen, why don't you put a little bit of vitamin P in your eye? Okay. And I was like, bro, that's so disgusting. But a few hours later, in the middle of the night, I was like, fuck it. I'm in so much pain. I can't sleep. It's hurting. Okay. I put a drop, Chef Ocean, you're going to judge me, but that's okay. I'm judging you for years. So I put a little bit of pee in my eye, guys. And within a minute, the pink eye disappeared. So I've been drinking all of my urine ever since. Everything.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Hold on, I need to top it off. Hold on. Okay, there we go.
Yeah, I just eat my feces, my pee. Ever since that day, I just believe in it. No, I don't know. I agree with what Ocean just said. It seems weird that the body's releasing it, but yet we need it. Although I do believe also that maybe it's part of our blood. They say it's a liquid part of blood. And so getting it back in your system is like a V, a natural, you can't say the word. People have said that to me. It's like a natural jab, whatever. Who knows? Let's move on. Chef Ocean's the weird one. He's the one who does it. He's weird. Next question. Hurry.
Hold on, I need to clear. So that I was actually drinking peach pineapple kefir, just so you know.
Peached pineapple kefir. Okay, yes. Next question.
Okay. Wait, do I get to ask one now?
Yes.
Okay. All right. This is kind of a serious one. We started off with the first question. This one's mine. Have you ever ended a close relationship because they didn't share your vegan values?
Oh, great question. Oh, you got some good questions. Well, I got some good ones too. So great question. Have I ever ended a personal relationship?
Yes.
Yeah, I have. Wow, this is a deep question. Okay. Well, basically, very hard for me. In the beginning of my journey, Ocean, I was a much more angrier vegan. And when I found out that animals are suffering 365 days a year, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, every second of every day, billions and billions of animals, I couldn't deal with it. And so the way I dealt with it was that anybody that ate animals, I could not be around them. And I was very mean and very nasty to anyone that didn't understand, including Frank, who's here on the chat. And, he tagged me in something the other day. And I want to block him, but I can't because I like followers. If I block him, I'll lose a follower. I can't have that. So, Frank, just know in my heart, I want to block you, but I won't do it. And the reason is because he tagged me in something. He said, vegans are such hypocrites because they buy quinoa that was grown millions of miles away, but they won't eat locally grown, organic, grass-fed meat. Oof, oof. He tagged me in that. And I was like, scum of the earth. But yeah, I have, and now I'm a much better vegan, Ocean. I'm a much more understanding a vegan because I now understand that I was once not vegan. And so I need to, and in order to inspire the world, I need to relate to people that are not vegan. I don't want to inspire people that are vegan. They're already doing their part. I need to relate to and talk to and inspire people that are not. So great question. Have you ever ended a relationship?
Let's see. Not because of that. I would say I've ended relationships because people like they were maybe not growing with me, I guess would be the best way to put it. Like outgrowing certain things like drinking or things like that. I just can't relate to that kind of culture anymore. If someone's drinking so much alcohol that they're affecting their health, that's like the opposite of what I believe in. I think like we're all going toward the finish line. Even a raw vegan is going to die someday. We all age. So like, why rush toward that? What's the point of that? And like, so it kind of like we all deal with traumas in different ways. And I think that the people in my life that dealt with trauma or dealt with healing in a numbing way rather than addressing them, like that doesn't help. That doesn't really help anyone, right? I think that moving toward wellness and health, um, despite your traumas, is probably the best way to go in all cases, rather than just trying to numb them and push them aside. So I would say that, like, if you want to, if people who are really close to me are definitely going to be sharing my values, and that is one of them is veganism. So I would say that the flip side is more important for me, is that if I'm going to start a relationship with someone or start a close relationship or friendship with someone, that is probably one of the values that I would say would be a deal breaker for me. If they're not at least compassionate or have empathy for animals in some way, then that would say to me that, okay, we're going to have a different kind of relationship then. And then I try to connect with them through other methods, like through music or through, like watching movies or something like that. But we're never going to have a full-on relationship if they don't share that value. So that's my answer.
I agree completely. It's almost like being friends with a serial killer. I can't do that. I can't. Okay, next question.
Right.
Okay, since you went kind of like non-weird, I'm going to ask you a non-weird question because I have a lot of questions.
Okay.
How do we know our truth, Chef Ocean? Like, how do we know how to tap into what is right for us? Because there's so much influence from our friends and family and society. And sometimes it's really hard for me personally to know like what is right for me. What would you say to that?
Oh, that's a great question, because that's really kind of the target of what I like to talk about with people, is that really it's not about diet. It's not about, empathy for animals, even though those are incredibly important values. It's about self-love, right? And tapping into your own self. So many people, when they start a new diet, they research it and they do, they listen to gurus, and then they find out, oh, there's all this conflicting information. One person says, eat this. Another person says, don't eat this. And, like there's all this confusion. And so the truth ends up being like, okay, well, what is the real truth? So what I found the best way to find the truth is really through connection with nature. So go out into nature by yourself or with a trusted friend, like just someone who you can be quiet with, and just watch how nature works. Like watch how trees work, and watch how animals and interact with nature, and watch how insects do things. And one thing that I noticed is that animals and plants, they always move toward being healthy. Like plants always grow toward the sun. Like you can chop down a tree and little sprouts will grow out. Like, and our body does the same thing too. It's always wanting to heal, right? Like if you have a cut, unless you have like staph infection or something that's preventing you from actually healing, your body will do everything it possibly can to heal itself, to heal the cut. So what we do most of the time is we get in the way of that. And we do things like drinking alcohol or eating things that aren't appropriate for us. And we're really just like going against the stream of what our body wants to do. So the truth is already there. Your body already wants to heal. It's really your decision as to whether or not you're going to get in the way of that. And all the foods that you eat can either get in the way of that or they can help it, right? And all the habits and the friends that you have. So really tapping into the truth is the fact that we already know how to eat. Like your body already knows how to do that, and just getting in the way of that by getting addicted to fried food or getting addicted to meat or alcohol or any of those things that are just not helping you, helping your body heal. That's a decision that really is the truth, and confronting that. But then once you let that go, right, to say, okay, I'm going to make a commitment here to eat much better, like whether it means eating vegan or whether eating raw foods or eating fruitarian or whatever else you need to do, that commitment to yourself, that's the truth. And then from then on, knowledge just becomes secondary, right? Is now you're doing something that coincides with what your body already wants to do. And really the confusion goes away. You don't need to listen to other people. You already know what you need to do. That's my answer for that.
Oh, such a good answer. I have a follow-up question, but I'll let you ask a question because I haven't talked in a minute. people are getting bored. No, I'm just joking. I'm just joking. That was a great answer. Thank you so much.
Of course, yeah. Okay, so we're going to go back to funny again. I want you to be creative on this one and really think about your answer. What is an appropriate punishment for responding, but bacon though, to one of your posts? Like, what does that person deserve to happen to them?
You want my real answer or you want a funny answer?
I want a funny answer first, and then we'll hit your real, and then we'll get your real answer.
I would say, but die though. But die though. That's not funny, but that's the answer. Seriously.
Okay.
But bacon though. Oh, I would just tell him to die. And also follow my YouTube channel, Ms.FitVegan on YouTube. Oh, such a good question. Oh, that was a good one. Okay, question for you. Ooh,
Okay.
this is my favorite question, Ocean.
Uh-oh. All right.
You ready?
Uh-huh. All right, let's do this.
There's no way out of this one.
Uh-oh.
What is something you are embarrassed to admit that you do?
Oh,
Sorry, I'm just entertaining myself here.
okay. Something that I'm embarrassed to admit that I do. Let me think. Okay, so I have a couple answers to this one. I'm going to try to come up with the best one, but I like watching bad movies.
Ooh. What's a movie you're embarrassed to say that you like?
Uh, um, I think it's called, it's like One Hot Summer or something like that. Is that, or no, My Hot Summer? Yeah, One Hot Summer? No. No, that's not the name of the movie. It's like a really bad movie with Janine Garofalo in it, and I don't remember the name of it. It's about a summer camp, and it's really bad, and I like watching really stupid, bad movies.
Ooh.
So that's what I'm embarrassed to say. I don't do it so much anymore, but I've seen almost every movie.
I'm embarrassed for you right now. Oh my God. If
Wet Hot American Summer. That's it. Wet Hot American Summer with Paul Rudd.
Watch that. That's Chef Ocean's favorite movie, American Summer. I'm gonna watch that right
Wet Hot American Summer, and Paul Rudd throws a temper tantrum in one of the scenes that I cannot stop watching over and over. So
of him, and I have to watch.
That's embarrassing.
I'm excited. Okay, if you want to know anything about Chef Ocean, watch Wet Hot American Summer. Okay. Do you have another question, sir?
I do. Yes. All right. So here we go. So we're gonna. No, this is an open-ended question, and I'm gonna see if you can be objective about it. After having been to the durian ceremony and participating in it, you're like one of the main stars of the durian ceremony at Woodstock Fruit Festival. Why does raw veganism seem like it's a cult? Like, what are we doing wrong? Like,
yeah. Well, we're drinking our own pee. That's number one. And some of us are eating our own feces, you and your rabbits. So that's number two. Number three, it is such the first year, Ocean, I went, okay, so 2017, I went to the Woodstock Fruit Festival to volunteer.
Mm-hmm.
When I saw this durian party, and it was way weirder back then. I made it less weird, if you can believe it. But it was very weird. They were oming around the durian and like literally worshiping it, and it was wild. But you know what? What are we doing wrong, you said? Well, we're not cooking our food like the rest of the humans.
Okay.
Okay. How can we grow our brains if we don't denature our food? And then, yeah, open-ended question. That's a great question. Do you have any? I don't know. I'm out. I'm all out.
I mean, at some points in the Woodstock Fruit Festival, or if I'm at a raw vegan, I kind of have to back away a little bit. I kind of have to be like, you know, like, okay, so the mud people, I think when people run down to the river or the lake and they put mud all over themselves, let me tell you, you guys stink. I mean, that mud does not smell good. I'm sorry, but please don't come into the dining hall without that. So I would see that, like, if it's a cult of people who put mud all over themselves and then walk around as if like that's normal. So maybe we should stop doing that. That's kind of cultish.
Okay. I've never put mud on me. I've never done that. I didn't know it stank because I don't get near these weirdos. No, just kidding. If you put mud all over
Smells
you,
like sulfur.
you're amazing. If you put mud all over you, that's do you, boo. Chef Ocean drinks his own piece, so fucking don't listen to him. But question, Chef Ocean, because actually my next question was about Woodstock. Oh,
Every time you mention it, I gotta take another swig.
yes, yes, yes. What? This is a good question.
Okay.
What was it like to work with Ms.FitVegan at the Woodstock Fruit Festival? And wait, before you answer, let's leave
Okay.
out the part. Let's ignore the fact that I understaffed you. Let's just ignore that part. Let's leave that out. Of
Okay. Well, they don't pay you enough for that. So it was, I don't understand why you do that because you're like on call 24/7. And I really need you to write a book about all the crazy things that happen at Woodstock Fruit Festival. I'll give you an example of something that I'm sure you deal with on an everyday basis, but I got a little bit of your overflow last year. And so the people, as people don't know, she's one of the coordinators, the managers, like the main people that like make the festival run. But she's also the one who has to like catch all the fly balls, if that makes sense. Like
put out all
we're
the fires. Why are there so many goddamn fires at a raw vegan festival? Continue.
right, we're just eating fruit. So anyway, someone came up to me and said, I can't eat any of your food last year. And so I was like, oh, I'm sorry to hear that, but you know, I'm not actually making food yet, so I don't know what you mean. Like, I haven't made any food for the festival yet. And they said, well, I only eat round things, and there's no round fruit on the fruit.
Stop. Stop
So at
it.
that point, I was like, I do not want your whatever you're doing at the Woodstock Fruit Festival that keeps people from asking me those kind of questions. Is yes, they all the round things had already been eaten, and all that was left was non-round things. And so I don't know what kind of raw veganism that is, roundism or something. But
Oh my God, Chef Ocean, I'm literally throwing away all my soursop. I'm only eating round things, but is oval okay? Is
I guess so. Yeah, I guess that's technically round. I didn't really go into too much depth. I was just like, I patted them on the head and said, good luck with that. You know, so if that's what you deal with, that's what it's like to work with you, is you are like my safety net where I get all, you know, people were just like, oh, the food was really good. And I don't have to deal with people who only eat round things.
wait, my sugar apple. Okay, so this one is not round. This is more of an oval. Not eating
Nope.
that.
Word out.
Round. Okay.
Mm-mm.
Oh, dragon fruit. Is it round?
I don't know. I didn't really dive into what round actually meant.
Amazing. Fucking amazing. Can I tell you a story real quick?
Okay.
I've been in the weirdo food and beverage industry for over 10 years now. So one time I had a customer in New York at one of my smoothie places. Well, we were scanning, we had like snacks, like kale chips and things like that. And I went to scan her kale chips. She freaked the F out. And she was like, do you have another bag? I can't eat that now. It's been scanned. And I was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. And then I was like, but at this time, Chef Ocean, I was like kind of an asshole. Remember, I told you I was a mean vegan back then. So,
Right.
what? And then she told me the story about how there's radiation when you scan it and all the things. And then I was like, you live in New York City. Do you have a cell phone? And you know what she said? Like, no, I don't.
Oh.
Well, you live in New York City. And she's like, yeah, I'm trying to move. And I was like, okay. So then I had to get another bag, the code. But when she said, no, I don't have a cell phone, I was like, all right, you win, lady. All right. Okay.
The last person on earth without a cell phone.
Actually, Ocean, I have met people without cell phones. I'm not joking. There's people in this.
Wow.
What's up, Alex? What's up, Boo? There's people without cell phones, and they're amazing. I don't know how they're doing it, but they're doing it. Okay, we got a question.
Okay.
Why does cooked food make me feel like a zombie? Okay, Matthew Jazz, great question. I'll answer real quick. It's because you are what you eat, and if you eat something dead, you're gonna feel dead. And if you eat something that's alive and round, you're going to feel alive and round. Please do me a favor, guys. Just look at like Ocean said, go into nature and look at every single animal in nature. Look at every animal in nature. They are not cooking their food. We're the only species that cooks our food, and we're the only species that denatures our food and denatures the planet and denatures our body, and also suffers from these diseases such as depression, such as chronic fatigue, strokes, heart attacks, diabetes, obesity. What would your answer be, if anything different, Ocean?
Let's see. I should go get my professor glasses on because I'm going to give like the Dr. Ocean answer here. So, that's not a coincidence. Like you're feeling like a zombie. I'm going to assume that you just feel like you're kind of floating through life and not really experiencing anything. Oh yeah.
These are my professor glasses. Yeah.
Those are awesome. So that has to do with your mucus layer. So when you're eating cooked food, your digestion has to attack the food because you've got damaged components in there. When you're eating raw food, there's still negative things about some raw foods, oxalic acid, for instance, but for the most part, fruit is 100% digestible and will not cause your digestion to send in all the white blood cells who then act like little kamikaze pilots and kill themselves, literally kill themselves, to try to get rid of all the damage that you just did to your food for some reason, right? So you took your food, you stuck it on fire, that's on you. Then you ate it. That's also on you. And now your body, your poor body, which is always trying to make things better, now has to sift through all that and pull out all the damaged parts. And it does that with your lymph system. So your lymph system has these white blood cells. When they die, they create mucus. So that's what mucus is. It's the lymph system that's become cloudy with all these dead white blood cells who definitely had something better to do with their day than have to deal with whatever you just did to them by eating cooked food. So when that mucus layer builds up, it causes us to become less sensitive to our environment because it literally touches every cell in your body. It goes under your skin. It's in your intestinal layer. That mucus goes in your sinuses, goes everywhere, and makes you less sensitive to the environment around you. It also not only that's a defense mechanism. That means you're less sensitive to the negative energies around you, which is somewhat of a good thing, but it's also less sensitive to the positive things around you. So that means your capacity for feeling or noticing things like love and affection and kindness and gratitude and empathy are also going to be diminished with the fact that your body now has this thick layer that's keeping those things from being experienced. And so when you go on raw foods, your taste is going to get better, your sight's going to get better, it's going to feel better when you're touched. You're going to experience emotions a lot more real, and that's because your mucus layer is not interfering with your sensitivities. So that's the professor answer to that question. You're not alone. It will make you feel like a zombie.
Amazing, Ocean. Oh, honestly, I have so many questions to ask you. So let's do a live very soon.
Okay.
I wasted so much time on these nonsense questions, but I do have another one. No, wait. Do you have any more questions for me?
I have two more, but mine. Well, I have one serious one and one kind of funny one. So, all right. Should I go? All right. Left hand or right hand? Which one?
Left hand.
Left hand. Okay. You got the funny one. Okay. Here we go. It's kind of funny. Does raw veganism make you superhuman? Does it give you superhuman powers? Don't think about it.
Guys, raw veganism will change your life. Let me tell you something right now. Ever since I went raw, sometimes I'll be standing at a stoplight. The light will be red. Out of nowhere, like after a minute or two, the light will turn green. I know I did it with my mind. I know it. Wait, let me tell you another one. I go to the sink. I turn on the hot water. Ever since I went raw, hot water comes out.
Wow.
Wait, I got another. Raw veganism will obviously make you better than everyone, but you're not going to be superhuman. Okay. I disagree with you, Chef Ocean. You said we're not going to live forever, but Noah was raw vegan and he lived 500 years, and that's good enough for me.
Exactly.
So I'm gonna
Hmm.
live 500 years. Oh, Barbie's here. What's up, boo? I met her at Woodstock. Okay, raw veganism. It did so much for me. I can't even tell. I can't even. It got me on a live with Chef Ocean. If I wasn't raw vegan, I'd have to pay for this. Okay, like hello, you get free knowledge 24/7. Oh, there's so many inappropriate things I could say, but I respect you too much. Huh. Well, Noah from the Bible, Tessa. Noah's Ark, remember with the two animals going on the thing? Anyway,
Yeah.
he was raw, right? Where did I read that? Oh, the Bible? By the way, Bible, fish is a metaphor for wisdom, guys. They didn't eat fish. You knew that?
I know, and now I'm learning things.
Now, 41 minutes in, he got some knowledge. It was worth it.
Write this on my right. What? Okay,
They didn't
got
eat
it.
fish. Jesus was a vegan. He was for sure a raw vegan. For sure. He was healing people. That's like me and Ocean. If we touch you, we would never touch you. But if we touched you, I'll touch anyone. But Chef Ocean, if you're wearing mud or you drink your own pee, he won't touch you. I'll touch anyone that has fruit in their hands. So just come up to me with fruit and I'll touch you. And wherever you want. And if we touch you, you're healed from anything. That's what raw veganism does. So great question. Great question. Okay. I have a serious
Okay.
I have a serious question. Are we supposed
Okay.
to eat? Well, this could be a funny question, but no, I really want to know
Okay.
because you have a brilliant
Mhm.
mind. Are we supposed to eat nuts and seeds? This is a question I've been pondering for a long time. Are we designed? I know that when you plant them, trees come up, right? And so,
Right.
are we designed to eat nuts and seeds? What is your view on this?
Oh, okay. So I personally have cut down on the amount of nuts that I eat, only because when I eat nuts, my eyes get bloodshot, which means that my liver's stressed. So the liver and the eyes are really connected. In fact, I was just talking about this with a friend today, is that your liver is involved in processing oils, and there's a lot of fat in those nuts. So the liver has to come to the rescue and aid in the digestion of it. That's how you digest your fats. So when the liver gets overloaded, that one of the signs is that there's inflammation, and then the eyes get red. So I know I've reached my limit on nuts if my eyes get red. I can handle some nuts like macadamias, a few, maybe like 6 or 7 of them. But I think of it in this way. So seeds grow into plants, nuts grow into trees, as you mentioned. And we're just little people. We're like this big, and here's a tree, right? So
Yeah.
like you're eating something that's supposed to grow into something this big, and all the fat and all the nutrients in there are meant to make that tree like 30, 40, 50 feet tall. So is that an appropriate food for us? I mean, it tastes good and squirrels eat them, but only, but squirrels live in the trees. So I don't know how that translates to us, but in a sense, like we should definitely soak them because they get dried for transportation. But I would say seeds are more appropriate because we're these people like this big, and seeds usually grow into like little things that are this big, like sesame seeds and legumes and sunflower seeds, so that's a little more appropriate. And I think the concept of eating too many nuts, I've run into that where I just end up feeling groggy and I don't have much energy. And so it kind of backfires where if you're eating too much nuts, the amount of digestion that you're using to process those nuts kind of like outweighs the benefits of it. But I eat lots of seeds, but I sprout them first and activate them because they're always dried and
Yeah.
you don't want to eat dry stuff.
Yeah, I once read that you prefer to soak your nuts in your own urine. I'm not sure if this is a weird sexual thing you do or it's for digestion. Want to explain that or?
Yeah, I made the mistake of making a T-shirt one time for the Raw Spirit Festival that said "Soak your nuts." I included a graphic when I sent the T-shirt to the T-shirt people to make it for me, and the graphic was like it was a couple little almonds with cute little faces on them, so people would get the joke, but they didn't include the graphic with the words "Soak your nuts." So I just ended up having to wear a T-shirt along with the rest of the people in my booth, those poor people who worked with me. And now we actually were wearing T-shirts that said "Soak your nuts," and no one got it. So there's no context for it.
I wish I had notes to. I wish I had nuts to soak. Okay, so here we go. Oh, do you have any tattoos? It's not a weird question, but I'm curious.
No, actually, I don't. My brother, my younger brother had a lot of tattoos, and actually one of my best friends is a tattoo artist. Another one of my best friends is a body piercing. He owns several body piercing shops. So I absolutely love tattoos. I think they're awesome. They're so beautiful. They all have stories behind them. I think it's fantastic, but I am the before picture. So I don't have any tattoos. So when I used to hang out at his tattoo shop, it was like I was waiting in line for like 3 years to get a tattoo and I just never got one. But I like watching people get them and I think they're absolutely beautiful. I myself don't have any. No.
Yes. Okay. So you are a little bit better than me. I have two tattoos. I have Let It Be,
Hmm.
and I have a watermelon on my foot.
Of course you do.
Of course.
Aw.
And I did have a dream. Nobody asked, but hey, I'm going to tell you my dream. Like Martin Luther King, I had a dream of having little small fruits all over my body, like small little tattoos, mangosteen, you know. And then I found out what happens when you get a tattoo. They once did an autopsy, Chef, on somebody that had tattoos, and they cut open their liver, and inside their liver, it looked like the rainbow. It was like rainbow colors. Do you want to touch upon, do you know much about what happens when you get a tattoo and what it does to your body on the inside?
Yeah, I mean, your body's going to metabolize those inks. So it's going to eventually turn, I mean, you've seen tattoos that are older, it's eventually going to turn green. I don't know if there are advances in tattoo technology since, we've discovered that there's like I think there a couple of people are mentioning they don't have that they have heavy metals in the ink. Um, but for me, it's more of like, I don't know. I changed so much in my lifetime that, I mean, I've had all kinds of different personalities and experiences where I am completely different from that person that I was before. So I think it's really nice to be able to record that historically. But I would say if you're using tattoos to commemorate an event or something along those lines, it's your memory gets better when your brain works better, right? And so I find that I remember things like if I don't have my cell phone in front of me at a concert, right? Or if there's something happening that's like a once in a lifetime event, I try to experience it and I try to remember it and I try to breathe in and I'll just try to take mental pictures of everything. And I found that serves me a lot better than commemorating things with like pictures or tattoos and things. It's just being present in the moment. So that's kind of the serious answer to that. But I don't have any judgment. Like I said, I love tattoos, but I just myself, I think I would change my mind the next day and then there's nothing I could do about it. So there you go. So that's why I haven't gotten one.
Chef Ocean doesn't judge you unless you put mud on your naked body or you drink your own Orion. Okay, so now I had another serious question. And guys, we're about to end the live. I wish I could do this forever, but I'm live today. Today, I have something to do. But usually I don't. But we're going to end the live soon. So guys, if you have any questions at all, anything, Chef Ocean has said to me, he is an open book, an open ocean, and he will answer any of your questions. So guys, if you had any questions that are weird, that you're scared to ask any of these gurus, Chef Ocean will answer. And so my last question, honestly, I really want to know, I have a lot of questions, but this is serious.
Okay.
So we know that the body heals itself, right? Like fruit and vegetables don't exactly heal the body, right? Like the body doing the healing. And so now my question is, when you take things like turmeric, or oil of oregano, or specifically like turmeric, and these things with like high antioxidant properties and like anti-inflammatories, what's going on there? If the body's healing the body, how is something like turmeric helping the inflammation in the body?
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. So I do have a good answer for this one. So when I recently had a shoulder injury, right? And the shoulder injury was due to a martial arts, training session that went wrong. And I ended up with a torn rotator cuff. And my body wasn't able to heal it because literally the rotator cuff was like over here, and the bone it was supposed to attach to was here, and there's no way it was going to reach by itself, right? So I had to go see a doctor. Western medicine has an excellent place in our society. It can be overused sometimes, but that is a really appropriate use for it. When you have an injury that you just can't fix on your own and you need someone to go in and physically reattach something. So in this case, two of my rotator cuff tendons need to be reattached. So the person that was doing the surgery cannot do that by themselves. They have to have a whole host of people that are in the room with them, like an anesthesiologist, a medical assistant. They have several other people who are advising them. They have people who are monitoring the equipment. So that's what turmeric is doing for you, is it's assisting the healing process, because turmeric has all these properties that are like handing the scalpel to the doctor, or handing them, whatever they need, whatever they're requesting. And if the thing isn't there, the doctor can't do their job as well. So that's our job, is to make sure that our body, the doctor, has all the tools, all the nutrients, all the vitamins, all the minerals, all the protein, all in the correct balance to be able to do its job. And if it's not able to do its job, it's because we failed in some way to supply it with the tools that it needs. Turmeric just happens to be one of those things that's like a giant toolbox. Like you would order from Amazon and just say like, hey, give me all the tools that I need to fix my bike, right? And it comes in a big toolkit, and it's anti-inflammatory, antibiotic, and it's beneficial. But if you overeat it, it's just going to get flushed out of the system if your body isn't going to use it, just like the doctor isn't, doing surgery right now. So what are you going to do with all this stuff? So that's really what's happening there is all herbs are slightly toxic. So what that means is, if you ingest an herb that's good for your liver, it will go to your liver and become an irritant, but it's an irritant that's kind of easy to deal with, right? Like not a permanent problem, right? So what your body will do is then send more blood to there and say, oh, hey, clean up on aisle 3, right? There's someone spilled some pickles on aisle 3, or it'll go to your liver and say, oh, there's some substance in here that shouldn't really be here. Well, then in that case, your blood, which is the healing mechanism of your body, now has a focus, right? And while it's cleaning up aisle 3, it's just going to go ahead and mop up the whole aisle, right? And it's going to front all the little things that are on the shelves, and it's going to give everything a nice polish. So, and while it's there, it's going to do all that stuff. So that's really how these herbs and natural remedies work, is they bring the body's attention to a certain organ or to a certain area, and then your body says, oh, let me do that, and I'll throw in a little extra while we're at it, does it all for free. So that's the long answer to that. The shorter answer is, yeah, that stuff's awesome. Like, go for it.
Sorry, that stuff's awesome.
Yeah.
Dude, honestly, Chef Ocean, why do I keep calling you Chef Ocean? Oh, I guess I'm in work mode when I see you, Chef Ocean.
Yeah, I'm not in the kitchen, just Ocean.
Just Ocean. It's Ocean.
Yeah.
So
huh?
I really love your mind, because you explain things in a way that I can understand it. Even though you're obviously super smart, I can understand everything you're saying. And I appreciate that. So who are some of your weirdo mentors? Like, obviously, like, weirdo means like people that are thinking outside the box. So who are some people that you've looked up to help you know everything you know?
Well, one of them is that I research a lot, and I only research peer-reviewed scientific papers. And they will tell you a lot of things that, like, if you just Google things, usually what comes up with is popular things, popular opinions, right? So I typically go on, I think it's the National Institute of Health, NIH.gov. It's the closest we can get to, like, the truth, right? Where these scientists are peer reviewing each other's work. We may find that these studies might be faulty or might be, not done correctly later on. But in general, that's probably the closest source to truth. And if I can find a couple scientific papers that collaborate what I find to be true, then I'll use those as references. And that kind of solidifies things. But my own experience, I've done all kinds of experiments with, like, juice fasting, long-term fasting, doing only fruit, doing only one, mono fasting, eating like only vegetables for 2 years, things like that, and monitoring. So I've done a lot of experimentation, and I found like my optimal health really comes from eating a wide variety of food in appropriate quantities, not snacking too much, and coupling that with focus on mental health, right? Focus on emotional health, and focusing on physical health, like exercise. So those are my gurus, is how does my body feel after I eat this thing? How does my body feel if I am nice to people versus being, as you said, an asshole? Like, I feel better about myself when I'm nice to people, right? But that might be different for everyone. So that's where our truths differ. The person that I probably learned the most from was the writings of Viktoras Kulvinskas and you, of course. I learned so much from you.
Whatever. Oh, we won't be needing you at the next Woodstock Fruit Festival. I
Aw.
forgot. But continue.
Yeah, so Viktoras Kulvinskas has done the same thing that I did. He came from like a philosophical, spiritual aspect. The same ideas like Arnold Ehret came from, which is like the philosophy of what we want to do. How does that boil down into actual reality? And then I have friends, Raw Food Romance, and her husband, I think his name is Raw Natty Nate on Instagram now. So that's Lissa Nate Maris, Chris Kendall. Victoria, also, who I'm about to go visit in Sweden. She's a massive like influence on me because she's taught me all kinds of things like, hey, what you're doing is like a habit, but it's not necessarily a good habit, right? So learning from other people and saying, hey, maybe you shouldn't like snack all the time. Maybe you should give yourself some digestion breaks, things that I've gotten in the habit of doing that once I break them or relearn them, I can, go into like better habits and have better habits. So hanging out with people like you who love watermelons and learning and being like critical of each other without being judgmental is a really good way to learn. And that's how I've gotten a lot of my information, is just hanging around other people and having a social network. I've said this before, I'll say it again. Just like, you have to have a support network. You have to have people, and I'm not talking about an echo chamber. I'm not talking about people who would be like, yeah, drink that urine, Like, you have to have a diverse group of people, like people who aren't into raw foods, people who are just into exercise. You'll learn our body is not just about our diet. It's about our habits, our thoughts. It's about who we hang out with. And that's what I really mean by physical and mental health is we all get so focused on the diet and that defines us. Well, don't be defined by your diet. Be defined by how you treat other people and how you treat yourself. So that's been my greatest teacher. And if you want to call that like the people that I hang out with, like you weirdos, then that's awesome. I think weird is much better than being like suffering in silence, right?
I agree. Some of my mentors is obviously Ocean, obviously.
Aw.
That's a joke. No, Arnold Ehret, obviously.
Uh-huh.
This guy, Jay Kordich. I know you know who this is.
Mm-hmm.
This was one of my very early mentors. When I was like 14 years old, I got this book. And like, he is such a fucking weirdo. Cause he's like weirdo, passionate. He's living his truth and he knows the truth and he's spreading it. And he's no longer with us. But if you go on YouTube and you type in Jay Kordich, Kordich, you will see a man who knows the truth. And he's passionate about it and talking about it. Another one that I love is David Goggins. What a fucking weirdo. Okay, like, you gotta be weird if you're gonna try to change the world. And people are gonna have like things to say either way. You do something, they're gonna criticize you. You don't do something, they're gonna call you lazy. So what are you gonna do? You're gonna have to just watch this interview again and listen to everything that that Ocean just said and step into your power, which is your power is when you are listening to yourself, the truth. And if you're not vegan yet, that's the truth for sure. You don't
Get on that.
What?
Get on that. Yeah, if you're not vegan yet, get on that. Like,
get on that.
That's number one on your list. Yeah.
For sure. And you don't have to be 100% raw to be 100% healthy. That is a fact. Because I was 100% raw for a long time. I wasn't a healthy raw vegan. Now I am. Because I do everything Chef Ocean says. And except I drink my own. Obviously, I drink my own pee and all of the things.
All right, you can't be alive with me unless you see my bunnies. I have a new bunny. I don't know if you can see one of them.
Oh my God.
Here's one of my bunnies.
Oh my God.
And then this is our new bunny. This is Spice. So this is Pumpkin and Spice.
Stop it with these cute ass names. That is
so guess what? They're both raw vegan by nature. So if you want to call rabbits weirdos because they eat raw vegan, then I mean, that's really our greatest teacher is what does nature do? Do that, right? And we're not carnivores, we're fruitarians. So look to other fruitarians in the animal kingdom and you won't be confused anymore.
Oh, so true. Okay, very last question. Oh, my best friend Awa's here. She's really big into mental health. Like, it's annoying. Because I just want to focus on the food and everything's gonna be great. And she's like, no, not everything's about food. And she was right,
Right.
just like you. What's your sign, Chef Ocean?
I'm a Scorpio, which is both a burden and a blessing at the same time.
And yeah, we have to end the live. But I have more questions. We'll do it another time. Last question is from Wolves underscore Peach. Curious, role of sunscreen in a raw vegan lifestyle. Well, we talked about putting sunscreen on your penis earlier. So
Eggplant.
go back.
No, I said eggplant. I didn't. I never said
Oh,
penis. I said eggplant.
oh, sorry.
You got to take care of your eggplants.
Go go back because Chef Ocean explained how to do that in fine detail. But do you use sunscreen, Ocean?
If I need to be out in the sun for more than maybe 20 or 30 minutes, yes, I do. Yeah. I've seen the damage that it does. I didn't use sunscreen on my hands for a long time, and I can see the damage. So I'm a firm believer in it. Just try to pick one that has the least amount of chemicals in it. That's all I got to say. Because I would rather have metabolize some chemicals in my skin, which can be metabolized and flushed out, rather than having to have a doctor go in and say, "Look, you only have 3 months to live because you ignored this very obvious thing that you could have done very easily." So,
Yeah,
yeah. But I do limit my sun exposure.
I don't know what to do or believe, Ocean, because I'm a New Yorker, so I didn't have to worry about this until 2 years ago. And now I'm in the
Mhm.
sun. You know, every morning I see the sunrise on the ocean, which is amazing. But then during the day, sometimes I'm in the sun, and I never wear sunscreen. I haven't worn it for 11 years. I
Mhm.
would recommend, clothing or a hat or an umbrella, and just make sure and just do what you think is right for you. Okay, if you resonate, because I don't resonate with sunscreen because I feel like it's chemicals going into my skin. I don't know.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. It's chemicals going in your skin. But I've had really bad sunburns in the past, and I have fair skin, so yeah, I limit my sun exposure 20, 30 minutes at a time. And if I can get away with not wearing any sunscreen, I can. But if I got to be out in the sun for longer, that's like 3 or 4 days worth of pain for me. And the effects of sun exposure, long-term sun exposure, often don't show up until much later in life. So same with cigarettes. If you smoke cigarettes, you're probably fine if you're doing it in your 20s and you feel great. But even if you stop later in your 40s and 50s, that's when the negative effects of it are going to show up, is when you're looking at the long run, the long term of it. But yeah, I mean, what I care about sunscreen, it doesn't really matter like to anyone else, because you have to make your own decision on that. I do see a role in Western medicine, and I see a role, but it has to be, like a selective thing. So just because I say don't use sunscreen, you say don't use sunscreen, like, don't listen to us. Like, make your own decision on that. Like,
Take what my friend Matt from Raw Intuition, he said,
yeah,
take what resonates and leave the rest.
yeah.
I think he said it, or maybe I said it and then he stole it and then I saw him say it. I don't know. Sounds like something I do. Okay, so thank you so much, Chef Ocean.
Of course.
I just want to say you're amazing. I really,
So are you.
I know, but I really appreciate you. And seriously, like, I love people like you because you're exactly the same in real life that you are on the internet, in the interweb. There's some people that are so different. They're fake. They're not like they are online. And you are exactly the same. And I appreciate about you. Am I the same?
Yeah, absolutely. It's like you or I in the same room right now. Like, yeah, you don't pull any punches. That's what I love about this. And yeah, and considering how strong you are, like, please don't punch me.
I won't, because you changed my life. I will only eat round things from now on.
Only eat round things. Yes, that's the diet we should all be on.
Throw out your bananas, throw out your sour sops, throw out your durians, throw it out. Drink your pee and round things only. Thank you so much, Chef Ocean. You're amazing. Thank you for everything. And I will see you in the next live.
All right. Bye, Jeanette. Always a pleasure.
Bye, boo.